Evening all. I thought I'd try my luck in a 3-minute tournament. 3 minute, maybe lasting for 8 minutes is a good amount of time for a reasonable sort of commentary while playing. Okay, it's already started. Alright, I'll double the cube. Oh, already leading the tournament. That's a good start. Okay, a bit of confidence. I need that in these tournaments. Okay. So, oh dear, bit of generosity here, doubling the cube. I think people are just scared. Am I going to get a game? I think my tournament rating isn't that high at 2268. So there's 2100 here. A 3-minute game. So I've already got a couple of wins. So, will he be playing for d5? Attack the bishop on a2. So 3-minute chess is a bit of fun actually. Less serious sometimes than 5-minute. If I play for f5 and bishop h6 and knight g5, bit of a hack attack. Okay, that means b3 is a bit, I don't know, maybe I can just take. I was hoping anyway. What is this? Exchange sack time? Can I play this for f5 and bishop g5 anyway? Let d3 go. Oh, I can win the exchange back. Oh there. Hang on. Queen b6 just wins the exchange back. No, he hasn't taken the exchange. He had knight f2 if he wanted it. Okay, so knight g5. Is that possible? In any case, am I threatening anything? Take some rook f6 maybe? Rook f6, I'm not really sure. Maybe not. Okay, I'm in big trouble here. He's getting a lot of material for the exchange. Maybe queen takes e4, so to answer with knight f5 here. Otherwise his bishop's on that as well. Interesting. Okay, so fg. Is that a move? Or knight takes d6. Hits the bishop on c8. I think knight takes d6. So I've got rook on and knight on c8. Okay, what does he do with that bishop? Nothing for the moment. So queen c4. Is that the strongest? So I'm on f7. Knight e4 might be useful. I'll play for knight e4 here. Try and get in f6. If I can get that bishop locked in with f6, that would be positionally nice. The queen takes knight e4 and then f6 again. So here knight e4 just to try and then bishop c6 I can take on f6. No, bishop c6 I just take on c6 rather. Bishop f5 I just take on f6 still. It looks pretty good still. Don't know if there's anything stronger to consider. Just exchange up. Surely. Famous last words. Okay, I want to try and make sure bishop c6 isn't going to crush me in the future, but I've got a good clock advantage here. Rook c7 maybe next. Does that doesn't lose material straight away? I want to protect both rooks actually. Rook c1 or something. Okay, actually hang on, there's rook f7 here. The queen takes d8. Or even f6? No. f6 is queen f6. I've got to take now. Playing f6 now. Queen d4. Queen d4 or f6? That's the question. I think f6 should be okay. Then maybe queen e7. So queen check. Looks good. Check and then a check here to win bishop. Or rook f5 and queen g4. Mind you, you can crawl back to h7 there. Oh, let him crawl back then. Okay. I don't just want to be the exchange up, particularly. So what about just rook e5 for rook e7? Oh dear. Okay, get the queens off now. Panic stations. Oh dear. I'm getting this pawn anyway, so it's not such a big deal. I can get h4 in and get my king to f4. Should be okay. Oh, no, let's avoid losing the rook. Try and mate with the king and rook. Okay, so attack this guy. Down to 3 seconds. So can I get an advantage here? I'll attack this bishop now. Just running on time, but okay. Oh, I've been overtaken as well. Okay, that took too long then, maybe. Maybe elephant gambit, even in 3 minutes, is okay. Is a good weapon of choice, or even just a gambit, just for a bit of play, bit of control of d4, accelerated development. Oh, this doesn't look good already, actually. What about bishop b4 anyway? And queen d5 is a potential move now. So I'm hitting the bishop, but queen b5 check if he wants to get queens off. Well, the bishop's on, so takes and then queen g5. That's pretty good, taking. So we can't castle. So knight c6 and we're just taking now on f4. We'll just queen f4 to stop casting queenside. Knight c6 and rook d8. Or knight d5 might be good. Okay, so knight c3. If there's anything stronger. Okay, looks pretty good. So just taking the rooks. Okay, so Ruskin is equaling me at the moment, 17 points. So what's the stake here? 1250 qubits. 22 minutes to go. I think these are new handicaps, by the way, on Chesscube, so it's not position as well as time. I think that's to encourage players like me, because when it was, sorry, not position, I mean points. When it was points handicap and you had a higher tournament rating, you got more points, the rating different based on the rating difference of both players. And even if I won 2 or 3 games, it would be impossible to catch up the leaders after. So in this tournament, even though I had a few quick resigners, I'm still struggling. It's not an easy push over this tournament anyway. So this is maybe g5 and queen h5 is actually direct and correct way of trying to play against this. Bishop g2 and h4 and g5. We're just trying to hold the light squares in the position. So knight e2 to g3. He's trying to generate some sort of gambit, counterplay. Knight a4 might be possible, but no, I'll wait. I'll try and keep the threat here of knight a4. Try and nick that dark square bishop. Okay, can I provoke d4? Weaken light squares a little bit. Knight g3 now. get onto these light squares, and then maybe h4, g5 later. And also get knight e4 with tempo. Oh, here he's provoking it. I think I should take to avoid h-file problem. Okay, so knight e4 looks juicy coming up. Also knight h5 of course is a threat, but knight e4 looks positionally juicy. Oh, he's not disconnecting. No! No! Can't be serious. Dear, oh dear. Diet Coke time. So anyway, what's going on in the tournament? So I'm leading it at the moment, so it should be a good 20 minutes of fun, this tournament. I hope you enjoyed the Tower Memorial. Did a couple of decisive games to the Tower Memorial. Felt a bit like hard work trying to discover reasons behind moves. It's a lot easier doing your own games, I think, with live commentary. So anyway, I'm pretty glad actually. I forgot that they've changed the handicap system on all tournaments, which means you might see more tournaments on this channel, especially 3 minute. I think there's time for like with this handicap, this is great. So if you're a strong player, get onto these tournaments. There's none of this points handicap anymore. Completely forgot about it. There might be less annotations from me after Saturdays. I'm in the London Classic. I'll try and get some FIDE points from it. It's the Fischer clock, 30-second increments. I don't like it if it's more than 30 seconds. I think it's 30-second increments. Once I played in Gibraltar, a 2-minute increment. Oh, I was just not used to it at all. It does take some getting used to that. There's no time pressure concept at all. If you're sort of disciplined on blitz, you're used to time pressure and people making mistakes, and it's a terrible expectation and habit to have this expectation the opponent's going to crack under time pressure, especially then, you know, you're playing Fischer clocks. You just got to try and play perfect moves really all the time and forget the clock. Oh, he forfeits, so that puts me in the lead at the moment. So this Ruskan's still chasing my tail, so I need some quick wins really in the next 18 minutes. Try and keep the lead here. I think this always this clash, you know, perfectionists he's moving. Okay, what about Sicilian actually, just to spice things up with some serious openings instead of just elephant gambit. What can I get from Sicilian? I hope it's a good game anyway. Dark square campaign UF takes the knight c6 later. He seems to have lost the tempo there though. I'm not sure about that. So if I can just castle and get on with a6 and b5, maybe b4. Is that still useful here? Just stretching out on the queen side, or just knight c6 maybe? I'm not sure about that, but I can't put my finger on explaining why. I think d4 controls better for me without that d4 maybe. So I just preserve the bishop here. If I can play knight c6, and if he takes, then bishop c6, nice bishop. But otherwise I've got access to d4 more than I would have without his pawn there. But I think I'm forgetting this b5 plan now. I'm going to just play knight c6. So I have doubled the cube. Yeah, as I was saying, I think the Fischer clocks favours those that really are more disciplined in chess to be perfectionists. This element of the clock and time pressure is really an artificial constraint around the game of chess. And you know, the clocks were invented to stop games going on for, you know, like ages, you know, more than a day. You know, they introduced tournament clocks, and yeah, it's a kind of, it puts a competitive external factor onto the game result. But Fischer clocks kind of puts it back in more theoretical kind of chess. And often FIDE rated tournaments now are using Fischer clocks, and it's the digital clocks which make Fischer clocks, you know, possible, of course, and they avoid, you know, end game results. Because can I not just take on d4 here? then take on g2. Maybe even e5, because if it takes, there's queen a5 check. So even e5 is possible here after knight e2. If I don't want to just give him the g file for an attack, I think e5, bishop e5, queen a5. Otherwise, if he moves the bishop back, then maybe bishop g2 is blocking the g file. If bishop g5, I think e5 will be good after knight e2. It's worth considering anyway. Okay. Okay, not the strongest move in the position. Okay, so there might be some easy games in this tournament after all. Okay. So, yeah. The stakes have been doubled. Okay. Don't tell me g5, g4. Well, I think I've got to stop bishop h4 as well. That's another dangerous threat. An idea of this. Okay. Maybe knight h5 to g3. Right, if I'm allowed to play bishop f4, I might have a good position. Which is always good in Vienna to get a good position. No, he's on e5. Okay, this could be trouble. Alright, if I just support e5 and allow the exchange of queens, is that going to be a total disaster? I hope not. I hope knight d5 is useful. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting a bit done over here. Right, I'll give that pawn up to try and get knight g5 in. Right, or knight d4. Is knight g5 any good? Go with it for a sec. So maybe e6 now, and if it takes, I could win up this. Hopefully I'll win this knight on g4. That looks dangerous. If he takes check, I win the knight on g4. If rook f7, knight g5. So it looks as though the tables might have turned here. Okay. There's knight d4 trying to pick up the bishop. That picks up the whole bishop, I think. Okay. Right, so bishop g5. Okay, bishop e7 here. There might be rook f5. Then knight e7. Rook f5. Okay, so maybe it's worth. Yeah, I might have blundered there actually. Whoops. There's rook f5. Okay, he's going to play that. He's going to get back into the game. Because otherwise, where do I move the bishop anyway? Oh, he hasn't played that. Okay, let's just get this bishop out of there. How do I get control of this position then? Rook f4. Bishop f7. Alright, bishop e2, just get minor pieces off. I'll just take on g4. Maybe c4, bishop b2. If I play c4, bishop b2, then bishop g4, then bishop g7. Is there anything else to consider here? I'm not 100% sure. It's just, it looks good now. It looks very good. So just bishop g4 and bishop g7 or knight g7. I can take this pawn first. You're going to take on b5 first. Avoid this plan. I think. Well, no, just going for it. Just taking on g7. So I'm hitting the rook. There's going to be another discovered check. So I think knight f5 looks juicy for rook d7 though anyway. Maybe h5 first though to stop the king escaping. So rook d7 looks like a more crushing move now. I think that's all over here. Okay, so is there a mate coming up? Discover check and then knight h6 or knight e7. Okay, so leading the tournament here with 9 minutes to go. Maybe another Sicilian. That was fun last time in Sicilian. Unexpected quick win. Maybe try my luck with the Nidorf. Even though bad results usually with the Nidorf. White's e5 soon. So e5 bishop b7. Okay, so knight d7 to c5, and then b4. B4 to stop this knight sack actually. We can still play a knight sack, but I don't think it's as hot. If I provoke b3 here for knight c5, it looks like a reasonable position. I seem to be getting an attack of some sort on his queen side. So could this be the second time this year, this day, that I've actually won with the Sicilian Nidorf? So maybe I'm exaggerating that. I just seem to have disastrous results in some openings. Maybe it's just a matter of getting used to them a little bit. Rook c8, or maybe, okay, e5 here looks as though that might be playable. I'm weakening d5, but is it that exploitable? Now, say rook c8 here. Okay. I'll try and weave a mating net if I offer the rook up to play queen a3 later. Although he's got g5, I didn't really want g5, so I'll stop g5 and offer that exchange sack. So I can get to castle or play. What would be a plan here? He's going to play h4 and g5. Do I want my king over there, or I don't know if king d7 is playable, but otherwise, if I castle h4, I'm going right into the attack. These pieces are not really doing much here. I don't really want to go straight into the attack, so I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to do this. Maybe knight b6 and then somewhere else. Knight c5. What would it be doing on c5? Can I take this? Okay, what's going on? I've lost the plot now. People do this formatically and just tend to win anyway against me in this line. But I can't honestly see the danger here. That's probably going to be spelled out very soon. Okay, good. Exchange sack, so queen a3 might be on the cards. What's that? It's giving up a piece. So queen a3, there's queen c3 now. But if I just take on a6, do I just not get a piece? If I castle, I suppose I'm going to be mowed down on the h-file, so I'm going to put the king in the centre, hoping I'm not going to get mowed down that easily. So something like rook c8 and queen c4. Try and get a counter attack. Knight c5 maybe. So I'm on d6 at the moment, but I'm going to have to protect it a bit more soon. So bishop e4, rook d6, or just rook c6. Maybe check first and then d5, because if he takes that e4, but then there's c3. Okay, I think check here just to try and get the king on that diagonal. Okay, I'll take. Okay, then go maybe queen c6, or just even here. So I'll try and get in queen b3. If I get in queen b6, or even queen c6 to attack c2. So bishop f5 and then. Okay, time to speed up. Pre-move time. So e4, finding bishop c3 in some lines. So, okay, what's going on here? Can I win from this position? It looks pretty crushing. I'm not going to get a disconnected, am I? Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, okay, blimey. Okay, 4 minutes to go. So it's looking good at the moment. With 4 minutes to go. So with the BD. So, I think I want to play a winnower. My results are okay in the winnower generally. He's going to take on d4 here. Why do I think he's going to take on d4? Has he got knight d4 there? Have I misplayed it already? No, okay. So knight g5 or takes, or bishop g5. I think I've got to take to try and open up the position for the bishops. So now bishop f4, so g3 to support bishop f4, and then try and target e6 later. I think rook e1, maybe the bishop over here, e6, and that on the semi-open e4, that backward pawn. Bishop f4, this looks like a juicy position. If I can just win this game, but it's not going to be quick. He's using up a lot of time, and I could be caught up soon. Okay, so h4 and bishop. Oh, I don't think. Maybe bishop e5. If takes, the knight looks good on e5. Okay, I'm giving up my lovely dark square bishop, which would seem a bit silly. I think I want to force this pawn forward actually. So say g4 knight h2. Okay, he's not having it. Bishop g2. Nope, I seem to have lost all my trump cards. Oh well. I've got the d4 square, but he's got f-file pressure, so I've virtually lost all my trump cards in the position. Successfully. Oh dear. What am I left with? Maybe a queenside attack if I'm lucky. Queen sack, queen c4. Doesn't quite work. It's not needed. What do I need to do here? Maybe just rook b4 and just double up rooks. I'll just double up rooks. If I double up rooks, this seems very solid. Yeah, I'm not getting mated just yet, but it's getting close. So queen h2 looks dangerous. Oh, there's queen c2. I may play on with a5. My queen's protecting f2. Okay, this is getting dangerous. There's going to be queen h2 and queen g3. So queen c5 maybe threatening something in the future. Or maybe a5. I think, oh, it's getting scary. I think I'm going to go for a5 and rook b6. Oh, has the tournament ended already? Wow. Oh wow. Saved by the bell. But I think he had a good, position, of course. So just about won that. That's cool. Hope you enjoyed it. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.